Grassley has a pre-existing commitment, so we'll answer questions if you have any.
All right, all three of you. Are you going to vote for the NDAA today? Because even though this is not part of the legislation.
I think everyone has probably a different answer on that, but I will be voting no. I'm assuming you're voting yes. Yes.
And I will vote yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And you're voting no because
Of this.
So just to clarify, is your game plan to call for a vote entirely separate from the NDAA, or because this isn't actually a conference report and you can call for an amendment vote if you wanted to? Is that your...
No, the amendment process is fixed in, so I will be calling for an up or down vote. And we have precedent for that. When we repealed Don't Ask, Don't Tell, there was opposition by members to vote with it in the NDAA, so they separated it out, and it was ultimately repealed in an individual up or down vote. So we have precedent for taking, especially issues of significance, out of the NDA and doing it separately.
We do have a 115 UC to that if you wanted to.
Which will be objected to.
If you get that up or down vote, would it like supersede what's
Yes.
in the NDA, or would it like work with like how you were talking
Well, so everything in the NDA is fine. This would just correct the pieces that need to be corrected. So, for example, the NDA only takes out 11 crimes. Our bill takes out 38 crimes. The NDAA doesn't remove convening authority from the commander. Our bill will remove convening authority from the commander. But the Special Victims Council work as a specialized training of counsels to become expert in sex crimes, which is fine and very complementary to what we built in the Military Justice Improvement and Prevention Act.
do you have any sense of why this was stripped out during conference, or what the specific issues that came up during conference about it?
The DOD opposes it. They want the reform to be as minimal as possible. They prefer the status quo.
You've been calling for UC for, countless times over the past couple of months. How do you change that dynamic? I mean, you're kind of probably run into arguably the same roadblock, won't you?
Right. The point of asking unanimous consent for a vote is to elevate the issue so my colleagues, the Senate, and my state understand why I am dissatisfied with the particular language in the NDAA and why it's important for survivors, for the veterans community, for 29 attorneys general, for 220 House members and 66 senators that we get an opportunity to be heard on this issue. And the NDA is a highly complex, extremely complex document. And these issues of criminal justice are also extremely complex. Most people don't understand what a convening authority is and how much power it has and what the perception of military members have of the convening authority. And so when the convening authority is resting in the hands of the commander and the first word the trial judge says is this court-martial is convened by Commander so-and-so, it sets the tone, and that prosecutor has to ask permission for a whole host of things that, again, keeps the power in the hands of the commander. So if you're a survivor who believes that the commander's never going to believe you or take you seriously, you may not ever report because the commander's still in charge. So that's the whole point of wanting to take this out of the chain of command, was so that survivors would come forward, report these cases, and also for the civil rights and social justice issues for commanders who may well be biased. You want to have defendants' rights protected as much as plaintiffs' rights, especially for serious crimes when penalties are over a year or more. So the whole point is to have a better, more professionalized military justice system so everybody gets a better system of justice. Yep. Anything else on this topic for either?
Related on the draft.
Oh, yeah, sure. We're very upset about that, too.
What is your reaction to that?
We're upset. Yes. So the purpose of what's it called? Selective service. The purpose of selective service is so that in a time of national emergency, that people who are needed can be called up immediately to help the American people be safe and secure under any national emergency. And to say only men are needed in that moment of a national emergency is outrageous and obscene. And standing next to a former military commander, it's exceedingly outrageous. And so women and men should be required to file for selective service when they turn 18, so that, God forbid, there's a national emergency, all able-bodied individuals are called up to help at that moment. And it's a slap in the face to every service member who is female, who has put their life on the line for this country, because it's a backhanded way of saying your service isn't necessary. We don't expect to have a draft in this country ever. We want to have an all-volunteer force. But what the selective service means is an ability to be called up at a time of grave need. And
So,
you should
I
speak
will
to this.
say,
Come to the
did
microphone.